This is the Archangel 2210 here to finally give you my review for Grimm that was aired last night on NBC Fridays at 9, and I think I finally found another good Friday show. Um, I could really see this lasting like a good 5-10 years. This is a great show. Now let me run down the whole scenario. It follows the story of this guy Nick. I forgot his last name, um, but Nick something or other. It's a long last name, but it's not. His last name isn't Grimm, but he is a descendant of the Grimms, and he pretty much doesn't know anything about his family, about anything of that. So when he's finding everything out, like when we're finding it out, he's finding out at the same time. So it's like it's this kind of family mystery that's unraveling for him. And basically, his aunt, um, she's been fighting these things all her life, and she's actually a librarian by trade, but she's been fighting all these creatures all her life, and she never had a chance to fully train him, and like fully give him like she left him a bunch of stuff, but because she's in a coma, she gets in a coma because I think it's because she was just so worn because she actually fought. Another thing came out of the bushes, and he was a reaper, what they call a reaper. And he had a scythe and everything, and he, not the Grim Reaper per se, but a reaper of the Grimm. Play on words. I thought that was nice. And so she doesn't have a chance to train him. She leaves him a like one of those silver bullet trailers, and the whole thing in the inside is like an office, and she wanted him to go through it and really find out everything, because he's a cop, and then he has this mystery, this murder to solve, that there was this young college girl that she ran through. She was on her morning jog. She was wearing a red sweater, and she went through like a little patch of woods, and she pretty much was mauled by an inconclusive creature. You know, when they ran the DNA, it wasn't conclusive of either man or human. It was still like the line was blurred, and it's not really a wolf man, like a werewolf type of thing. It's supposed to be the big bad wolf from Little Red Riding Hood, and that's the main story that they were doing in the pilot. That it was the Little Red Riding Hood story, and so he doesn't have to wait till full moon. Doesn't have to wait, till any of that stuff. He could turn into a wolf at will. Like whenever he sees like a girl wearing a red hood, it just kind of triggers it, and he just kind of goes crazy, and he either attacks her or brings her back to his home, and he fattens her up and tries to eat her. So, and he basically has a little house in the woods. So, and it didn't really truly have like a lot of the humor that Buffy and Angel had, but I'm sure it probably will later on. Because there was a lot of stuff they had to explain, that because they didn't really fully explain like a lot of the stuff, like what exactly these creatures are. Like we know that they're from fairy tale creatures, but it's not like the book came to life or whatever. It's supposed to be that all the stories that the Grimms wrote, they were all true stories that actually happened, and um, like the descendants of those people and all those creatures, they're still alive today in disguise as human. And for a brief second, the Grimms could actually see their true face and what they really look like. And so whether it's a wolf, whether it's a witch, whatever they're from, whatever descendant they're from, of what story, he could actually see a glimpse of it. And they always try to kill the Grimms. That's their main mission. The bad ones is their main mission is that they want to try and kill the Grimms, because they, you know, it really does have that Slayer type of feel to the whole field, where, but it's passed on through family. It's not something that's like it's just random type of thing. It's a family bloodline. The aunt knows it, and she actually had this book in her silver bullet. I know I'm kind of like all over the place, but she had this book in her in her trailer that had like basically like a how-to guide, not really how-to guide, but really like an encyclopedia, better word, like of a lot of these creatures and their names and what they look like and sketches and all these things, and it's a big book. And another thing that I thought was kind of funny, not really funny, but like a little nod to Angel, um, when he opened a cabinet, there was like all these medieval weapons and everything, a mace, swords, axes, and all these things, and I was like, oh man, that was kind of a nod to season one Angel, because he always had that big case of like the cabinet just filled with weapons, and Angel always kind of had that the cabinet filled with weapons in throughout the series. But I really love the whole feel of it, and he is a cop, and it's kind of like he has two partners, and they kind of play that off, because he has his daytime human partner, and they kind of worked in him having a nighttime creature partner, which was another big bad wolf that he mistakenly thought as the one that actually killed the other girl, but he was an innocent wolf. He was actually someone that, like, he was clean for years, and he hasn't killed anyone, and he actually helped him out, helped him find the house to the real wolf's house. So he's kind of going to become like his partner during the night shift, when he's like trying to track down all these creatures to help him out, because that wolf, he knew about the Grimms, he knew about that they can see all that stuff, he knew all about his origin and the book and everything. And this guy Nick, he's like, how do you know all this stuff? He's like, my family's been telling me stories about you people, kind of like a little bit of a switch, that the wolves have been telling stories of the Grimms, when Grimms have been telling stories about the wolves and all those things. So I thought that was a fun little switch, that his family line told him about the Grimms as a way to get him, as a way to scare him as a kid. I thought that was a fun little switch that they did. I really love this show. It's very little, like, granted, they really did not explain a lot, and they did leave a lot up for, like, to discover, and he's going to discover a lot in the ongoing series, because not a lot has been explained, because his aunt did say that your parents didn't die in an accident, so he was led to believe his parents died in an accident, when probably in fact they were killed by some sort of creature, and he's gonna probably unfold, if not in this season, then probably in the following season or throughout the series, of what in fact killed his parents and why and all that stuff. So there's like a lot of loose ends and a lot of things, and it's a great show. It's a fantastic show, and I would love to see what other fairy tale parallels they'll make in the show. Like, what other fairy tales will they do? Snow White? Will they do like they'll probably do like evil queens and evil witches in the show later on, and that she tries to do curses like that was done in the past with the poison apples and stuff. I'm sure they'll probably do stuff like that. But now this show is completely different from Once Upon a Time, as I said before, and you really can't compare them. They're really two totally different animals, Grimm and Once Upon a Time. Besides them being on two different channels and having two different sets of writers and two totally different feels to it, this one, you could totally see the hand of Buffy and Angel. You can completely see the inspiration of where the writers saw that, where you kind of have this whole almost like a male slayer type of character who's also a detective. So he's almost kind of like a mixture of Buffy and Angel combined, where he's kind of this cop detective, how Angel was on his show, and he is in fact kind of like, he doesn't have any powers besides the fact of actually seeing their true face for a glimpse. He doesn't have any strength or anything. I'm sure if he does have any other powers, they're probably like unfold in the series, but as of now, he just has like the power to kind of see things like they see their real face. Now, cannot wait for the new episode of Once Upon a Time this coming Sunday. It looks really good. That show looks good. This show looks good. I think they're both a must watch. They're both the must watch for the season. Reason why I didn't do this review last night is because after Grimm, I was watching Sanctuary, and after Sanctuary, I was watching the anime X-Men on G4. So Friday has become a busy TV night. You know, you have cartoons like Cartoon Network. I have, you know, Grimm, then Sanctuary, then G4. It's like a lot. It's like we finally got a lot of good shows. So all in all, this is a must watch. This is a must watch show. Great action, and a lot of mystery that's enwrapped. You know, and I can't wait to see like all the stuff that's gonna unravel with Nick and his family and all the other creatures that are gonna show. Great show, must watch.